We like to think of the global economy as a cloud, digital, wireless, and instant. But the truth is much more heavy metal. 80% of everything you own, the phone in your pocket, the grain in your bread, the fuel in your car, at some point traveled on a ship. And that entire multi-trillion-dollar system depends on just a handful of narrow, dangerous, and politically volatile choke points. If these maritime arteries are the world's jugular, we are currently living in a state of high blood pressure. From the desert sands of Suez to the tropical heat of Malacca, the world's most vital passages are being squeezed by war, climate change, and high-stakes diplomacy. Let's start with the big one, the Strait of Hormuz. Professional researchers call this the global jugular. It is only 21 miles wide at its narrowest, with shipping lanes just 2 miles wide in each direction. Yet through this tiny gap flows 20 to 21 million barrels of oil every single day. That is 1/5 of the world's total consumption. But in 2026, the perspective has shifted from commerce to combat. Unlike other waterways, there is no viable alternative to Hormuz. If Iran chooses to mine these waters or deploy its area denial missile batteries, the world's energy heart stops beating. We aren't just talking about higher gas prices. We're talking about a global industrial cardiac arrest. Now head east to the Strait of Malacca. If Hormuz is about energy supply, Malacca is about global survival. Linking the Indian and Pacific Oceans, this 580-mile funnel is the primary route for the manufacturing titans: China, Japan, and South Korea. For Beijing, this is the Malacca dilemma. Nearly 75% of China's oil imports pass through here. From a military standpoint, Malacca is a nightmare to defend. It's shallow, congested, and prone to gray zone tactics, piracy, or state-sponsored disruption. If a conflict over the South China Sea or Taiwan ever led to a blockade here, the factory of the world would go dark in weeks. Moving toward Europe, we hit the Suez Canal and its southern guardian, the Bab el-Mandeb, the Gate of Tears. The Suez is the world's greatest shortcut, saving ships a 5,000-mile detour around Africa. But as we saw with the Ever Given grounding, one single ship can freeze $9 billion in trade per day. Today, the threat isn't just a stuck ship, it's asymmetric warfare. At the Bab el-Mandeb, non-state actors using $20,000 drones are successfully challenging $2 billion destroyers. This democratization of destruction has forced 2026 shipping rates to skyrocket, as vessels choose the long, expensive journey around the Cape of Good Hope rather than risk the Gate of Tears. While other choke points are threatened by missiles, the Panama Canal is being choked by the weather. Unlike the others, this is a freshwater bridge. It requires massive amounts of lake water to move ships through its locks. But record-breaking droughts in 2026 have forced the Canal Authority to slash daily transits. For the United States, this is a domestic crisis. The Panama Canal is the primary artery for grain exports from the Midwest to Asia and liquefied natural gas to the world. When the water runs low, the just-in-time supply chain becomes just too late. Finally, we look north. The Turkish Straits, the Bosphorus and Dardanelles, and the Danish Straits. These are the gatekeepers of the north. The Turkish Straits are the only way out for Black Sea grain and Russian oil. Under the Montreux Convention, Turkey holds the keys, deciding which warships can enter or leave during times of conflict. One diplomatic no from Ankara can shift the entire balance of power in Eastern Europe. Geopolitics, military strategy, and maritime law all converge at these narrow points. We live in an era where a single drone, a rogue captain, or a dry season can bring a superpower to its knees. The freedom of the seas is no longer a given. It is a fragile truce. And as the world becomes more divided, these choke points aren't just pathways. They are the most powerful weapons in the world. The question is, what happens to you when the lines finally snap? Do you think the world is prepared for a total closure of the Strait of Hormuz? Or are we just one crisis away from a global collapse?